Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we back into? We are back into Married at First Sight UK series 8 and we are now on episode 32 and it's the last dinner party. I keep saying that, but I know there'll be another dinner party coming along, you know what I mean? And the honesty box in this one rears its fucking ugly head. Also, as I've said in my previous episode, we start to see the personality that is Arthur. And all I am going to say is emotional immaturity. The man is immature, like completely immature. He thinks he's funny, but he's not. Nobody was laughing, least of all his wife. At the end of the day, my man was not reading the room. Was he, people? Was he? Anyway, before we get more into that, before I forget as well, please hit that subscribe button and then please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's get into this episode, shall we? So now we see the episodes are moving on because it's coming to the penultimate episode. It's going to be coming to the reunion dinner and we'll see how everybody's got on within their marriages, if they've managed to stay together or not. So basically, we get to Jordan and Erica walking in and they are colour coordinated. I'm not going to go back through the whole ream of what happened previous to the dinner because there isn't that much to tell, to be honest with you. And then you had Arthur and Laura walking. They didn't look cohesive together like they normally looked. So I think Laura, Arthur, Jordan and Erica were talking about their final dates and how they were. And they spoke about like them, Arthur and Laura, going to the pottery and how good it was and that it was really quite funny. So then, I can't remember if it was Erica or Jordan said, well, do you love her, Arthur? As in, do you love Laura? And Arthur replies, I loved her in that minute. I was like, Arthur, like, this is where, you know, when they had them questions, or no, or was it, no, it was the letters. And within Laura and Arthur's letters, the first point of call was think. You need to think before you speak. This is one of those times because your whole wife's face just dropped, like absolutely dropped. Nobody laughed, like no one laughed. Arthur thought he was going to be the joker of the whole night, like bringing up the mood, not wanting it to be too serious. But Arthur didn't realize that he wasn't funny. Like he really was not funny. So then you see Adrian and Matt walking and they do look happy, but as I said, I still don't think it would bode well for them because they're getting on okay, like a house on fire right now, and Matt is acquiescing to the fact that, you know, Adrian doesn't want children and may not want children, but I think he believes in the back of his mind that he may change her mind. I don't see it happening, but that's what he thinks anyway. My thing is I will ask though, is why did the experts put them together? Because that's a fundamental part of someone's relationship in terms of when you match someone together. Wouldn't that be one of the things that you looked at in regards to children and what their thoughts are revolving around children in that respect, and then try and match the person as best as you can do? Because that is a fundamental conversation point in terms of a relationship. If you've got a partner that doesn't want children and you do, that's fundamental. That could make or break a relationship. So I don't understand how the experts managed to put them together. Yes, they should work on paper, but how did they miss that? That's all I'm going to say. How did they miss that? So basically, Erica was talking to Adrian in terms of how things went, but then she was talking about in terms of Jordan's mindset and how reliant that he has become upon her. and she was saying that she's scared, but she said that she's going to take it how it comes and see how things play out once they get home. And that's all she can do at the end of the day. That's all you can do. All you can do is see how things play out once you get out into the real world and out of this box of this experiment. So you see Peggy and George come in and they look happy. I must say, I liked Peggy's dress. I did like Peggy's dress at the end of the day. I really did. And Arthur's talking, and then you see the girls go off and have a chat, and Arthur's talking to the lad. And to be honest with her, all I can say is I don't even know what the fuck Arthur was talking about. I really don't. I don't know what he was talking about at all. This man is living in Delulu land. At the end of the day, he thinks everything's coming up smelling of roses, but hey ho, there we go. So then Ella and JJ walk in, and then yes, they do look good together. Now Ella this time has literally changed her hair to brunette, so she's put a brunette wig on because she knows that JJ likes brunettes. Now my thing is why would you do that? Why would you change? Because in essence you changed a part of yourself for him. Now he could have told you that you didn't need to do that, but I don't think he did in any way, shape or form tell Ella that she doesn't need to do that, that she's fine just the way she is. But I think Ella's got into her own head by researching JJ's ex-girlfriend on Instagram. That's a big no-no in my books. As I said from previous episodes, that is a big no-no in my books, because that will heap more insecurities onto Ella's insecurities as it is. But my thing is JJ always looks so reserved. Like, he's a dusty book on a 10,000 old shelf. Like, seriously, that man always, his face always looks like either he's in pain or he's smelling shit. That's what he looks like to me. Like, seriously, like he's seriously in some serious pain and someone needs to help him. Ella's basically still on the slope of she didn't really know if JJ would fancy her because she really liked him, but it was so great when it was reciprocated. And I can't remember who it was that said to her, then you shouldn't change yourself for a man, because at the end of the day you changed your hair colour for him, so what more are you willing to do to step into a certain aesthetic in order to please this man, because you know that's the aesthetic he goes for. It just needs to stop at the hair colour. That's all I'm saying. It needs to stop at the hair colour. So Tasha and Paul walk in and they look good together. So just before they go in, I think George speaks up and says, let's go around the table and speak about the last dinner party. What's the best moments? What's your best moments of the experiment? So Tasha says that her best moment was when Paul turned around, like when she walked down that aisle and he turned around, and it was just like, ooh, for Tasha basically. So she said she was talking about that was her best moment. And then Arthur decides to pipe up and says when JJ came back, and then says, no, jokes. And I'm like, Arthur, no one's laughing with you though. No one's laughing with you. Your wife is looking at you like you're some kind of fucking dickhead. And this is what I mean to say that Laura's no longer correcting this man. She's no longer correcting this man. She's letting the true Arthur fly for people to see that this is what she's had to deal with day in, day out. That's what Laura is doing. So then as we move on, George turns around and asks the table when their last date was before the experiment. And Arthur flippantly, this guy not thinking before he speaks, says a week before he came in to marry Laura, he had a date, but to him it meant nothing. I'm like, my guy, you just opened a can of motherfucking worms right here. You just blew your relationship wide open, then turned around and said that it didn't care. That's your feeling. That's not Laura's feeling at the end of the day. You just fucked your wife over because you went on a date a week before you went to go and marry her. Now, I know full well when it comes to this program, they let these people know ahead of time that they found a match for them. So my thinking is, from when they've told you they found a match for you, class yourself as engaged. class yourself as engaged. So there's no more dates within that realm before you go marry the person that you are going to be with on this show. And that's what Arthur was not getting. And that's what I'm saying. This man is emotionally inept. Like, seriously, he's completely inept. He's emotionally stunted. And maturity-wise, he just does not have it at the end of the day. And I don't think someone's pulled him up on his bullshit before. Like, seriously. His wife was just like, Laura just literally said to him when he was kept on saying, oh, it wasn't a big deal, it didn't mean anything. She goes, no, it did. It meant something to me. Don't invalidate my feelings around what you just put out there in the atmosphere for everybody else to hear. Because everybody was like, what? As soon as he said it, and he said it so blasé, he just threw it out there. Oh, it was about a week. I said, what? What? I'm just like, oh my god. Like, oh my god. This is why these two ain't gonna work, because now Laura's starting to see all the things about Arthur that she ain't gonna want to be with. So then just before the box enters the chat, right, I think it was, I don't know if it was Tasha or someone, asked Ella, like, would she prepare to move to London? And like, Ella was going around reeking, but then she did turn around and said that, yeah, she would move to London. Crickets. Fucking, that was met with crickets from JJ. And I'm like, my boy, can't you open your mouth and say nothing? Your woman has just said that she will be prepared to up sticks and move to London to be closer to you, and you're not saying nothing. He did not say nothing, and that was the time that affirmation should have been used from JJ, but it was not. And again, Ella's left out into the ether with no rope to tether her to the land. Tasha then comes up with, let's have a quick game of Never Have I Ever, and this will go so wrong. All I thought was, this will go so wrong, especially with the type of people that you have around the table. And boy, did it go wrong. So basically, I can't remember what the first question was, but Erica and everybody else drank, and like, she was being honest in terms of her drinking. But my thing is why did you need to explain your reasoning to Jordan at the end of the day? Yeah, that was the question. Do you believe, is there any time that you felt you was going to leave when you was on Confessions of the Couch and some people drank? And Erica, as I said, explained why she drank to Jordan, but I don't think Jordan was really taking on board Erica's explanation. And I thought to myself, you shouldn't really have to explain to him, because at the end of the day, he should understand where you're coming from, because there's a lot of bullshit that's gone on between the both of you. But hey ho. So George shouted out that he liked being raped. And someone asked Peggy, so have you done anything? Peggy was like, no. There was not even a gap. There was no breath. There was no nothing. It was just straight, nope. Not doing that. Next subject, let's move along. Which is what they did. So they then said snog, marry and avoid. So Tasha turns around and says that she would snog Arthur. And Arthur turned around and said, there's piped up out of nowhere where there's still time. Everyone went quiet and looked at Arthur as if to say, what is this? Like, what is this guy? I'm like, seriously, Arthur didn't even get in his head or think about the fact that you saying that not only disrespects your wife, but disrespects Paul too, because at the end of the day, Tasha's not saying it in that sense that she wants to fucking kiss you. It's a fucking game, my friend. It's a game, my friend. I was like, raw. Arthur is the king of saying the quiet part out loud. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'll say it again for you, and I'll say it slowly. Arthur is the king of saying the quiet part out loud. So then the honesty box enters the chat. So Peggy says, where do I rank now to George, to gaming? And George basically says, very much at the top, gaming is at the bottom, and that's not him giving up on his passions. And all I would say is, good answer. That is a good answer, George, because you've rehearsed that, because you already know what she wanted to hear. So you said exactly what she wanted to hear, which she was happy for at the end of the day. So Matt says to Adrienne, am I enough for you? And she said, absolutely. And she was just about to go into her full soliloquy of why she's saying absolutely, when Arthur jumped his motherfucking mouth open again and said, that's great. Into the next one, please. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, whoa. And then he covers up the bullshit by saying, it's a joke. And I'm like, nah, my guy, you're being rude. There's having a joke, because people need to be in on a joke with you and laugh with you, but nobody was laughing. Everybody was seeing you being a bit rude and petty. Like, at that point, I ain't gonna lie, I had second-hand embarrassment for Laura. I, like, truly had second-hand embarrassment for Laura, because Arthur's mouth was going to hell in a handbasket. It really was. He was sailing down that fucking slow road to the fiery pits of hell. That's where it was going. So Adrienne then talked about the energy talk, carried on with her conversation and talked about the energy talk between them, and said that he has stepped up his game. And basically he is everything that she has asked for, and yes, she does think he is enough. So Jordan turns around to Erica and says, do you think I am the man for you long term? Best believe Erica had the longest pause. Like, the longest pause. And I was like, hey, my girl, are you going to speak? Are you going to speak? Or are you just trying to figure out what it is that you're going to answer, how you're going to answer this question? And basically she was telling Jordan that there's so many incredible qualities about him, but she does have concerns. And the concerns are more around the communication. But the qualities he possesses are what she wants in a lifetime partner. So Erica was then on the back foot by them reassuring him that these things can be fixed. And I'm just like, Jordan needs to just take it on board. Like, seriously, take what is being said on board and roll with it, because he is reading too much into everything, which is going to be his downfall. So Paul then says to Tasha, well, it was a two-pronged question to both him and Tasha. To you both, rate the couples in how they will last. And I was just like, yeah, don't do it. So I think that it was 5 years. I think it was 5 years, 5 minutes, 5 seconds, something along them rules, right? So basically, Paul and Tasha basically said Peggy and George will last 5 years with themselves, no doubt. And then they went round the room. And then I think, I don't remember what they gave Laura and Arthur. I think it was 5 minutes they gave Laura and Arthur. And Laura was quiet, and Arthur again pipes up and says, give it 10 minutes. And even Laura was just like, and everyone's like, what? And I'm just at that point like, Arthur, stop. No one is finding you funny. It's like you came in there with a fucking rocket up your motherfucking arse. I would say a talking rocket or a puppeteer or something that wouldn't make you stop. I was like, what is wrong? Like, seriously, what was wrong with this man? What was wrong with this man? And I will say it again. It's because Laura's no longer correcting his bullshit, so people can actually see who the real Arthur is, and this is the real Arthur that is being displayed before us all. This is what she's had to fucking put up with. Huh? Like, huh? So Paul then says, are you in love with me? And Tasha says, no, not yet. Then went on to explain. And then Arthur jumped in again. So basically Tasha bit his head off and said, you're really getting on my nerves now. Like, you're seriously getting on my nerves. And she says, I'm trying to say I'm falling in love with my husband and you just took that way away from me and I didn't like it, basically. So it's when Tasha went patwa. You see, when a black woman goes patwa, that means don't fuck with them. Don't, you went too far, you took it to the extreme. And that's why at that point Arthur knew, shut your rotted mouth. Shut your mouth from that point, because Tasha point blank said to him, you do it again and it's going to be me, you understand. And she went, you understand. And from when that part of understand comes out, you need to just eat your crow, shut your mouth, and don't say nothing more after this point. Ella, it came to Ella and it was, she said to JJ, what can I do to be a better partner to you? And JJ basically listed out that the biggest problem he had was being disrespected by her when alcohol is involved, and that they tend to argue over nothing, and then that those things can become quite hurtful, and they basically do weigh heavy on him, and that's something that he said that she needed to change. I thought that's the most he said. That is kind of the most he said, especially when it came to where his feelings were in regards to acknowledging, well, this is what you have to do to be a better partner for me. So JJ then had the same question about what can he do to be a better partner to Ella. And Ella says to be more open with her. And JJ, and I will note that the girls at the table as well gave her some good advice too. And JJ says he does care about her, but she should know that. And I'm like, well, no, she doesn't know that. That's why she's hella confused by you, my guy. She's hella confused by you. So yeah, no, she don't know that. That's the first time she's probably heard you say that. So then it moves to Laura, and basically her question was, what is the biggest change you have seen in me? And Arthur has said that you have compromised a lot to make it work, and he wished he could do the same for her. I just thought that was the shittiest answer Arthur ever gave. Like, the shittiest answer Arthur ever gave. He didn't think about the question she just asked at all. So basically Laura said that she found the last whole of that dinner, the last hour, difficult because of the jokes that he made, which didn't land at all. And basically she turned around and she said that she has carried the burden of this marriage and her sparkle had been dimmed and she's not felt herself at all. And that's when Peggy piped up and says, well, you two need to ask the question about yourselves as whether you are both compatible. And I thought, my girl, you need to ask the question of yourself of whether you're treating George perfectly fair within your marriage to him. Like, seriously, you need to wind your neck in. Don't give advice to everybody else when you're not in the perfect space yourself at the end of the day. And find out whether you're going to keep defying your family's reservations to keep a man that you've already said that you wouldn't want to be with him if your family didn't like him. Yeah. All I'm going to say is, throughout that whole dinner, Arthur was a dick. And the people that I went in with saying that I really liked and stuff like that, or probably misunderstood, I've literally gone down in my estimations. And this is where I am going to leave this video. But I'll be back soon in quick succession with the next one. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I am back on and doing videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.